Welcome into another episode of Cheat Code Weekly, where we discuss everything collecting and investing in video games. I, of course, am Greg, once again joined here by Henry. And what we're going to talk about today is actually complete in-box grading, complete in-box collecting in general. A lot of the idea here is high-grade CIB versus sealed. At what point should you just get CIB? At what point does sealed not actually matter? What kind of condition premiums should there be on CIB? And where do those inflection points lie of where does a CIB graded game or a conditional CIB actually start to hit the price of sealed? And even further, CIBs start getting more expensive than sealed counterparts at certain conditions, which is super interesting. So as far as video game collecting goes, CIB is king. You're always going to have more participants. There's a ton more supply. It's where a lot of your general action in this hobby is going to take place. As much as we love sealed and graded, CIB is everything. You have the collectors out there, deep, passionate, extensive CIB libraries, full set collectors. All of those people are either loose or CIB. Some of the rarest games out there, those are people who may never touch a sealed video game. Those are collectors who literally might never even consider sealed, never even think about doing it. And that's awesome. I still do also collect CIB for some stuff. Some stuff in this hobby, I know you guys will know this too, but you literally can't buy factory sealed. Either because it's too damn rare, the pop will be like 1 or 2 copies that even exist, or it's so expensive that you can't even consider sealed. I think the last game we just talked about was Sonic the Hedgehog for buy, sell, hold. What is it? There's like 50 of them maybe on the pop report, and your entry price is like $10,000 for sealed. The vast majority of people are never even going to be able to do that. Your black box hang tabs, SNES RPGs, little Samsons of the world. There's at some point, you are going to run into the spot in this hobby where you have to chase after CIB because sealed is literally impossible.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, CIB is king. And when most people say that they have a nice CIB, in general, the grades come out to be like 8.5 to 9.0 when you talk about when they actually grade it, right?
Yeah, your
But
average collector mint is like, yeah.
yeah, 8.5 to 9.0 because you're doing 3 components, you're doing a box, you're doing a manual and the cart. So when WATA and CGC grade it, 50% of it is box, and then you got the 30-20 with WATA or
Yeah.
is it with CGC? And then CGC is 25-25. Sort of get it mixed up from time to time. But when you're talking about when should you look to like grade a CIB, in general, you're trying to get to that 9.4 level because once you reach a 9.4 total grade, you get that premium bump over like a minty CIB when you talk about stuff on eBay. So for example, we love to use SMB3. A minty CIB on SMB3 goes for around $300, right? And then when you actually have it graded, if it comes up to like 8.5 to 9.0, it also sells for around $300. So in general, most minty CIB copies is 8.5 to 9.0. But then when you get to the 9.4 level, to total grade 9.4, it gets to $500. So you have that $200 delta between a raw minty copy and a graded like 9.4 copy.
And for CIB, I would like that would be my baseline to start using the word mint 9.4.
Yeah. But also the interesting thing about CIB is that sometimes when you see a component that's higher grade, like for example, if there's a 9.8 cart or a 9.6 cart, right? There's an example, there's a 9.4 CIB that sold for $750, 250 more than the across the board 9.4 because there was a 9.6 cart in it. So a lot of people they like to lock in that grade and then Frankenstein it so they can get a higher grade overall. That's the thing about CIB is that
Yeah,
people.
what's Frankensteining for anyone who doesn't know?
Yeah, when you're talking about CIB, you could buy different components from different like sources and then just put the nicest ones together. That's basically what Frankensteining is. So whenever you get that one component that's like a 9.6 or a 9.8, people CIB collectors will pay up for it just to get the nicer copy, right? And then when you're talking about 9.6, that's when you get an even higher premium, right? A 9.6 across the board sold for $1,250.
Yes.
So that's
Complete
that's a
inbox Mario 3 for over a
complete
grand.
inbox. Right Bros Mario 3. That's basically a 4x over a raw minty copy compared to a 9.4, which is like a 70% increase over it. So like once they get that 0.2 difference, it makes all like all the difference in the
Well,
world.
you're reaching the impossible level of condition as far as CIB
Exactly.
goes.
Yeah.
And
So
it
when you're
looks like
talking about no,
good.
go ahead. Yes. Okay. When you're talking about the 9.6 copy, right? When you uh for 9.6, when it sells for $1,250, you can also get a sealed 8.5 copy. So which one would you prefer? Would you want the sealed 8.5 A plus, or do you want the 9.6 CIB across the board?
Yeah, see, that gets crazy to me that like the 9.6 starts getting up that high to the sealed point because I think you can agree like we love sealed. We love the idea of the state of being unused. It's never been opened. You can't you know what I mean? The condition only goes one way. Once you open a sealed game, it can never be a sealed game again. And for me, that's special. I like that. So I would take the 8.5 sealed copy, but I get it when we're actually talking about, like I said, the people who CIB collect, who would never even look at sealed, don't care about the cellophane, right? Who cares? It's just it's plastic wrap at the end of the day. So if we're actually talking about an 8.5 versus a 9.6, the actual eye appeal of both of those copies should be very noticeable when sitting on a shelf.
Yeah.
Like you should actually just be able to see a visual difference from 8.5 to 9.6. So I do understand why people would go for the 9.6, but it's also like at that point of conditional nuance, 9.4 versus 9.6 CIB. What did you say the 9.4 was? Like not
The nine
half, but
four was around 500 to 750 depending
yeah,
on.
so you're going down over half price to just like,
Yeah.
get away from that conditional premium where that's personally where I would start going if I want to buy one graded. I just that condition premium for the to have the special 9.6, I would just get sealed. If you
Well,
want something special.
the 8.5 is sort of like the run of the mill sealed copy though,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Then that's the difference because the 9.6 is just really minty CIB copy, but an 8.5 is just the run of the mill sealed copy. So you actually rather have the run of the mill sealed copy.
I again, it's because I think it's special, and I understand there's a lot of
Mm,
people who are not going to care about the cellophane, are not going to care about the plastic, but like it's where I'm at. I love the idea of sealed, so yeah, give me the average sealed one versus because it's like you're forcing the CIB to be so freaking expensive only through grading. That's what gets me because if you could never
mm.
sell a raw copy for that price, you could never do it.
But you can't also sell a raw copy for you can't also sell like a minty raw sealed copy for like a 9.8 A plus price,
No, I know you
right?
can't. I know you can't.
Yeah.
But like that's why I'm saying the run of the mill sealed one is at least still like if you break it out of the case, it's still
Yeah.
represented at that price point of like $1,200, say, because it still is um what it is. You know what I mean? It's not only the condition forcing the premium, it still is a special item. Does that
You
make
love
sense?
sealed. Okay, we get it. You love sealed. CMB
Does
is
that make
not
sense?
exactly your cup of tea. In a way, I understand why the 9.6 CIB
So
is,
are you taking the
that
CIB?
much. When it comes to SMB3, I might because it's so like they're so abundant, but to actually get a 9.6 CIB is pretty special compared to like I could get a 8.5 raw copy any day of the week on eBay.
Interesting.
You know what
Interesting.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
But if it's
I
a
do. I
different
do.
game,
I just when
if it's a different game, maybe
it's
maybe
it's
differently.
that thing where if the value only exists inside of the graded case, I start to get a little bit like you know what I
I thought
mean?
you loved graded, man.
Yeah.
I thought you're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're not drinking
Yeah, am I
Kool-Aid no
supposed to
more?
sit here and like I can't have?
Oh
Am I
man.
allowed to have nuanced opinions or is this too
Oh
deep?
no, no. That's not good.
You know what I saw
Can't
on
be
Reddit?
great.
You talk about Frankensteining. I saw this on
Yeah.
Reddit the other day regarding CIB grading. Someone was going to swap the box. It was VGA qualified discussion, same thing. They were going to
Okay.
swap the box on their NES console, and some of the comments were saying it was literally fraud to swap out a component and then get it
Mm.
graded because it's not like the original piece that came with it.
Dude, you know Reddit people, they're all like white knighting. It's everything's got to be pure, can't be about the
Isn't that
money
kind of
ever.
crazy?
Capitalism doesn't exist. It's let's just let people do what they want to do, man.
Yeah, like you
That's all I'm
can
saying.
swap any piece and the grading company is okay with it so long as they match. That's the one thing I want to
Yes.
say about Frankensteining. If you start mix and matching cartridges, manuals, boxes, you have to be extremely careful that you're matching same variants because any
Yeah.
kind of mismatch will be rejected.
Yeah. Or not even rejected. They would just be an imp, right? When I
Oh, I
talk about
guess
like
yeah, they'll
CGC.
take it,
Yeah.
but
They'd
they'll
be imp.
yeah, yeah.
It'll be the green label. You're like, oh, non-matching components, which obviously affects the price greatly. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So, okay. That's versus sealed and CIB there.
Yeah.
Low grade sealed versus a CIB.
Okay. When we're talking about raw minty CIB, again, it's about $300. When you're grading a low grade CIB, like a 7.5 or a 6.5, it gets to $100. So it's almost not worth grading, right? Because it costs at least $40 to grade with CGC. When you're talking about WATA, it's 50, maybe plus $40 if you want the CIB plus. So it's just not worth it. You
Worst
might as well just
worst
sell it raw.
offering in all of graded is the WATA
Yeah,
CIB plus.
it's no good. It's no good. But then when you're talking about sealed copies, like okay, so that's the CIB copies. When you're talking about low grade sealed copies, for example, 880 A plus challenge set, the one that came in like the challenge
Yeah,
set
the console
NES.
bundle, console bundle.
Yeah, the console one. That's $400 for 880 A plus compared to a minty CIB that's $300. That's sort of like where you're settling in. Or you could get a 6.0 C plus also for $480. And granted, these prices were back in 2020, so they might be lower now. But
Yeah,
those
they'll
were
be
the
kind
only
of in the
comps I
same
could have
place.
gotten.
I assume they're
Yeah,
close to.
probably $300 to $400. But that's basically where you're landing. You got the minty CIB raw copy, or you could get an 8.0 A plus challenge set, or you could get a 6.0 C plus Red Bros. Which one would you prefer?
Yeah, okay. So if we start making it that drastic, like
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a minty raw every single. Ah, man, am I? Am I?
but a minty raw, right, is like 8.85. It's an
No,
8.5.
I know. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
CIB 8.5. Let's just
yeah.
say, or would I
You
rather
don't want
have
an
just like
8.0
a?
A plus challenge set? That challenge set is just trash.
Yeah, I don't touch challenge set at all. Don't care. Not interested.
Yeah, fair.
It's like an NFR to me. It's just like not interested whatsoever. I would go.
Mm.
I would rather grab this. Oh, would I? 6.0 C plus is so
C
bad.
plus is bad.
It's so
Dude, you
bad.
might as well crack that out, and then you probably get more raw for it on
Like
eBay.
you probably would. 6.0
Yeah,
C plus is a
it's bad.
stain, man.
Yeah, it might as well be no seal.
I'd probably take the CIB at that point, just because at least it looks nice. But one of the biggest things here, like we talk about low grade sealed, low grade CIB, and especially with low grade CIB, like if you come across a 6.5, 7.5, 8.0 is decent, but even then, I almost think it's just a trap for new collectors, man. We you see like the 9.4s and stuff, they were selling for so much money. And even at that point, I was like, okay, be careful with these. That was 2 years ago now,
You're
but
talking
they were
about
selling
back
for
in pandemic
thousands.
time.
What's right?
Yeah, you're talking about back in the pandemic time, not now.
Yes. Once
Yeah, yeah.
CIB, like probably 2022, 2023, CIB was really taking off. And we saw Mario 3s, Mario 2s, last print Zeldas were like thousands of dollars. Made no sense to me. But even right now, we still see like a 6.57 CIB copy will sell for more than a raw copy and more than the raw copy plus grading. Like some people are still making money selling. It's garbage. It's not garbage. The issue is I'll elaborate more. It's easy for me to say it's
Yo,
garbage,
think
and I
about the
know
brokies, man. Think about the
I,
brokies.
I know you understand when I say it's garbage, but the
Yeah.
issue is that every single copy on eBay, or let's say 98% of CIBs, whether it's NES, Super Nintendo, whatever, you're gonna fall in the 6.5 to 7.5 condition. It's really understanding that 6.5 to 7.5, it's not nice. It's a weird way to think about the scale because you see like, oh, a 7.0, that is above average. It's you know what I
Mhm.
mean? There's
Yeah.
still like you're above 5, you're above 6. There's so many, but 7.0 is actually really bad. There's a ton of damage on it. Almost every copy on eBay is going to be that level. So if you're debating if you should buy a 7, a 7.5, or just buy the raw copy, you should almost always buy the raw copy every single time, unless, there's prices where it's going to make sense to buy the CIB graded, but almost every single time, just buy raw.
I think when you're going so low in the grading scale, it almost loses the essence of grading, right? Because when you're talking about grading, number one, you're looking at authenticity. But for something like SMB3, you don't really, for something that's so abundant, you don't really need that as much as something that's rarer. And then, like obviously the number, it tells you the conditional rarity of the item, right? When you're going so low into the scale, it almost doesn't make sense to grade at all, right? What's the
I
point?
I think you lose most of the people who care about it. Like
Yeah.
if all I can do is get a it doesn't even look nice on the label. If it says six
Like a
six
six
five
five.
seven, it's like
Oy.
you
You have
know.
so far to go to a 10.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
almost like it almost detracts from the overall appearance even. And
Yeah.
yeah, at the grading is a big thing, the conditional chase. So if you're not chasing the condition, just get yourself an acrylic holder, I guess, and it does the
Yeah.
same
Just get
thing.
it raw. Just leave it raw, or just, buy a raw copy and just leave it there. It's you don't need to grade everything, We love graded, but you don't need to grade everything. There's such things as junk slabs. So
This
it's a junk
hobby
slab.
has a lot of them coming out of 2021.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's a
Remember all
ton.
those sports titles and like
Oh
Friends on
man.
PS2 and oh my
Ultimate Battle 22, like your
yep.
favorite DBZ game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man.
GTA trilogies up the wazoo.
Yeah, you don't have
Never
to grade
ends.
everything and you just don't. The CIB is so interesting. It's like, ah man. Just don't fall for the trap of like even getting a good price on a 7.0. Don't do it. Just go buy
Yeah.
a raw copy. Don't
Yeah.
place value on the grading where you shouldn't.
I think CAB is very important for the overall growth of the hobby because
Yeah.
number one, it's fun. You can Frankenstein, like don't listen to the Reddit people. You can Frankenstein, you can work your way up to like the highest possible grade
I've
through
bought
hard work.
multiple copies of SNES RPGs, and I take a map here, I take a registration card. Do it.
It's fun.
It
It's
is
fun. Like
fun.
you can actively participate in making your condition better. Compared to a sealed game, there's just really not much for you to do, right?
I mean, if you want to take it another level, you can like press manuals, you can press like
Oh yeah, yeah,
you can
yeah.
upgrade condition, you can press boxes. I'm sure you've seen on YouTube and stuff. People will take like a comic press to a cardboard box and like
That's crazy to me. I think there's like levels to it. I think
should it be
that's maybe
allowed?
crossing a little bit.
Yeah,
I
should it be
don't
allowed?
know. I don't know, man. Like I understand pressing manuals because in comics it's fine, but once you start pressing the boxes and like I don't know, using like it's sort of like with cards when they start using liquids on it. It's getting a little too far to
So
me.
you're okay with pressing paper, but we can't press the boxes. I just want to make sure I understand here where you sit.
I think it might be getting going too far. But if people are
Interesting.
okay, I am not a CIB collector, so
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
frankly don't care too much about it.
No,
But
no, it's
I do
interesting hearing your
think
perspective though.
I do think like I guess I'm a little more purist on it, where it's like there comes to a point where there needs to be a line. So I once you start like using liquids or pressing boxes or like getting rid of the creases or finding a way to put the cardboard stock back into some type of condition it wasn't in, I feel like that's just like restoration. It's just like comics when you're restoring comics to get the purple label instead because
Yeah.
the color touching and all that stuff. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
they
So
look it
yeah, if you
over
don't
with a
know,
black light and everything.
you can't color touch, you can't alter. There are things you cannot do with CIB grading.
Yeah, but then some of these people do wild stuff. They find way to put the paper back into like the cards. I'm sure you can do that for the cardboard box somehow too.
Well, I've
So
seen some
I don't know,
insane
man.
stuff with cardboard boxes where it's
Exactly.
like you have fraying and stuff on the opening hinges, and they like I don't even know the methodology, but you like it becomes so flat and pristine looking that it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There needs to be a point. I don't know what the point is. I'm not deep enough into CIB to know, but there needs to be a cutoff point. But anyway, Frankensteining is fun, but
Let's get
you
this
should get to
one
the
more thought.
point.
One more thought I have. Does
Yeah.
it like we talk about all the stuff you can do to make stuff better condition, right? So let's go back to that 9.6 Mario 3. The 9.6 could be a 9.2 that was pressed to be a 9.6. The 8.5 A plus copy is the condition that it's in. You can't really move a sealed copy.
Oh, you're such a sealed snob.
It does it affect how much you want to pay for one? When you know the condition can be changed so much.
Hey, buy the grade, not the game. You gotta trust. No, I'm joking. I am obviously a sealed collector as well, but I understand that even if you press and all that stuff, like you can't make an 8.5 box into a 9.6 box.
No. You can't
Right?
work
There
miracles.
are levels to it. Yeah. You can't do miracles. But maybe it was a 9.4 box and they did some crazy stuff and now it's a 9.6 box. So
I think
there are
that's the
levels
biggest thing that scares me about, like how I said, I just wouldn't buy the 9.6. I would just get the 9.4 because you know what I mean? At that point, I feel like you're chasing.
Maybe you could make it a 9.6. All right. Is that what you're thinking? Is that maybe you're pressing, maybe you're the one pressing on the box and making it.
Yeah, like but I have a 9.4 and a $500 Steam press. Like we can make this happen, you
Exactly.
know? CIB grading, if these grading companies want to exist for another 10 years, whatever it is, vintage, minty, sealed will run out, period. Like the raw supply is not enough to keep these companies in. So I'm not going to push CIB. I don't care, but I think the companies themselves need to make a push to understand why the condition is important or grading CIBs or just more about the hobby and the collecting side of it away from just gaming to incentivize people to send in because they're going to need that supply or there's just not going to be any games to grade.
Yeah, given our 5 to 10 years, I know once Nintendo stops creating physical media, it's all
Yeah,
over,
no one's
man.
submitting
Right?
PS5 or Xbox
Yeah.
One as is.
No, but
Switch is like the only console
but
that gets a little bit.
maybe they will start to once the physical media is actually dead because they're like, oh god, nothing exists anymore. Let's start buying it up.
Maybe. Like maybe
another
that's the
that's another discussion. That's another topic. I am actually long term. Obviously, is not good, but I think in the short term, it'd actually be a big boost.
interesting.
Physical media is dead.
Let's go to buy, sell, hold. Super
Yeah.
Smash Brothers on N64. So yeah, there is actually a variant with this. I don't know how many people even know about this. What is it called? Printed in Japan versus printed in
Yeah,
US?
printed. Yeah, printed. They're all made in Japan, but one is printed in Japan, one is printed in the US. I think the US is a darker back. When you look at the back, it is like darker colors and saturation versus
Yeah,
the.
it's one of those things where you
Yeah,
almost need them literally to be side by side in order to see the
yeah.
variant. There's no markings on the box.
No, nothing. You gotta look at it side by side. But I mean, does that variant matter that much?
I would say no, personally,
Yeah.
just because it is so obscure still. But again, it's one of those things where if like the auction company says, "Oh, this is the first production copy," and like they start running that, you'll get a premium on it anyway.
I don't think they'll ever say that if it's first production or not because
Oh,
they're
is it
both
not
made in Japan.
defined? I saw there was
No,
a
it's not. I don't think it's defined. It's
okay.
not defined.
If it's not
It's
fully
just a
defined,
variant. It's
yeah,
just a variant.
okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter then. Doesn't matter. I take back what
Yeah.
I said. Doesn't matter if
Yeah.
it's not fully defined because what's his face wrote a guide on it, right, Dan?
Yeah. Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't think
if
he
he
said it was
wasn't
first
willing to
print.
commit,
Yeah, I don't think he said it was for first
okay.
production. It's just the variant that he put up. Yeah.
So in that case, we have 92 copies on the WATA Pop Report, but we all know at this point that there was a case pack of Super Smash Bros. 64 found. It's what everyone always said, man. There's case packs out there. Reddit was right.
They were right.
They were right. The
Yeah.
warehouse, it gets full of Smash 64.
Yeah.
So the 9.8 A++ copy during the boom sold for 200,000. Then we had another one come up early 2024 before the case pack find went for what? Just about 100,000? Just shy of it, I think.
Yeah, like 92K,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
So then we have the case pack came out. Now we have the 9.8 A++ falling to $50,000. The 9.6 A++, that came from the same case, the 6 A++, I
Yeah,
think,
yeah, that was the same case. Yeah.
down to 17,000 for that. And if we compare Smash 64 to Melee now, you guys probably saw on eBay, this will be probably a few weeks ago now by the time this goes live, but a 9.8 A++ Smash Melee, Japan,
No,
made
A
in Japan,
plus,
first
not A
print.
plus plus.
Yeah, just
Just
A
one
plus
plus.
on this.
Yeah.
Sold for 16,000. Um, man, I think with this case pack found on Smash 64, this is one of the best buy prices. I know it's still expensive. I know it is. So it takes a little bit of like you gotta believe, man. You gotta have some belief here.
I gotta
But
believe. Yeah.
you do, because it's
Yeah.
still like, we're still talking about $17,000 on the 9.6 A++. But I don't think we'll ever see such a, well, maybe we will. We already had a case, but I don't think we're going to see a glut of supply like this hit the market all at once for another, let's say, 5 to 10 years, where these are being sucked up. And when does your next opportunity come then after these are gone?
I don't think the people who bought them are going to sell them at these prices. I think
No,
they're
no, they're
holding
going
them
to sit
because
on
they
it.
think, yeah, they think it has a lot of upside. It's someone posted up recently about like the fighting game franchises, like and how popular they were. Mortal Kombat sold like 85 mil, but they have like, I don't know, 12, 13 games. Smash Bros is second with like 75 mil. This is even more than Street Fighter. It's crazy how like popular it is, right?
Oh no,
So
it's
I don't think it's ever going away. Nintendo's always gonna come out with a new one for each console. I mean, a 9.6 A plus plus Smash One for the same price as a 9.8 A plus made in Japan Melee is crazy to me, man.
you're
That's
not a melee
cardboard bases.
truther.
I believe in made in Japan Melee, but if it's the same price, give me Smash
You
Six
have to
for
take
all
the first
day.
entry in the series.
That's cardboard, man.
Yep.
Cardboard.
And with these two, like, I know we're talking about the highest end, but like we should see a little bit of spillover with lower grade copies as well coming down. It should.
Hmm. You're
So
talking
I
about
think if you,
N64 one?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, okay.
because once the 9.6 A++ is only $17,000, 9.4 has to come down, 9.2 has to come down to relative. You know what I mean? It all has to make
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So if you don't own a copy, I would say keep your eyes open. Look for the 9.0, the 9.2, the 9.4s right now. You probably have 3 to 6 months where the prices will stay suppressed because
Yeah.
price memory will stay. You might even have 6 to 12 months, but keep your eyes open because I think it's rare. It's a rare damn thing that a marquee title like this has supply hit the market in 2025. A
And
case pack.
high grade too. High
Yes, a
grade
case
too.
pack.
Yeah. And the ones that sold on like Heritage and eBay, those are only two of like the six copies that are in a case pack. So the other ones were sold privately as well for
That
around the 40 to 50K range. So
that's the thing, right? Like everyone talks, a case pack is gonna destroy it. Like it just gets sucked up. Like one single case pack is not enough supply to tank anything, but it does affect. There is an effect, but
yeah.
it gets sucked up and then the market will go back. It's like so it's
Especially
like,
for a marquee title.
yeah.
If it's like, Concord or something like that, maybe it's different. But
Yes, if
it's a
you have a
Smash
game
Bros.
like this, it just that's what you get. You get a little down and then it sucks back up because people want Smash. Um,
Yeah.
I'm a buy. I'm a buy on this one at like 17,000. Like
Maybe it should be Mission Smash, not Mission Mario.
I got my beautiful 9.0 A plus. Like what more could I do?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, but it's down 50% now. What are you gonna do?
Like I
Upgrade.
got screwed, man. This screwed me.
You got screwed by that case pack, damn
I
case
would
pack.
like to upgrade. So like genuinely, I'll probably be keeping my eyes open. Because if for
Yeah,
some reason 9.4 A plus is going for like $5,000, I don't know if it is, but like you know what I mean? If we're gonna see
yeah.
pricing like that, like all day. All day.
You'll sell your soul for it.
Make it happen. Make it.
Yeah.
Throw it right on the credit card.
Yeah, credit card, baby. Yeah, there you go.
Like that's what this hobby is all about. It's all about credit card
Yeah.
debt. But let us
Debt.
know your
Debt.
thoughts. Super Smash Brothers is now the perfect time to strike with a case back coming out. And let us know what you think about CIB grading. Are you a CIB collector? Are you a CIB collector who's looked at grading at all? Or have you know what I mean? There's going to be so many people who just never touch it. Are you at all looking at grading if you are primarily a CIB collector? Let us know down below. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.